I've been a group fitness instructor since 1980. I'm an author, TV host, mom, wife, and dog mom. But I got sick and almost died from toxic mold exposure. I spent years researching alternative remedies instead of prescription drugs to cure myself, my husband, rocker Ted Nugent, and our son Rocco. I'll share what I've learned about healthy living and how to be happy in difficult times, some current events, and always end with something to make you smile. This is Simply Shemane.
Simply Shemane is powered by Patriot Mobile, America's only Christian conservative wireless service provider.
Welcome back to Simply Shemane. You know, as our country begins to reopen, I am filled with so much hope and gratitude and love for all of you who are watching and all of you who are so determined. We have the American dream within us. Our hearts are filled and buoyed with spirit of other Americans buoying each other. So thank you so much for all of the kind words, all of the wonderful emails that I'm getting. I'm so excited because today, Beth Jones, pastor and best-selling author, is going to be our guest, and also Glenn Story from Patriot Mobile. But there's one more. I almost forgot. How could I forget? The Motor City Madman. I call him Honey, Ted Nugent.
Man, I love American guitar music, don't you?
Are you filled with hope?
I'm filled with hope. In fact, this morning I gave birth to a huge mountain of hope. It was absolutely very hopeful. I have a very positive spirit because I understand the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Golden Rule, the Ten Commandments, and most importantly, the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, boy. You actually
Plus,
went
if you
there.
can be any more positive than I am, you might hurt yourself.
This is true. This is true. We often do we hurt ourselves just trying to keep up with you on a daily basis.
But remember, I have you and a Gibson Birdland and Happy, Sadie, and Coco.
Oh, yes.
We have to get a photo of Happy, Sadie, and Coco.
Oh,
They're
my gosh.
my beautiful pups. They love their daddy.
We have so much hope because of them. And whenever we have bad times or difficult times, and we've had a few lately, we're building a house and we've had some problems.
Issues.
And you know what? It becomes overwhelming, especially with the shutdown. But now there's a glimpse of hope. There's an opportunity for us to go, you know what? Family, friends, and country and God have been so important to us, and we kind of lost track of that. So I'm glad that we're here and we're reopening. I have a lot of hope.
Well, I'm going to promote, I think, the pillar of hope, a campfire of great American spirit. It's called huntthevote.org. I hope people will visit us at huntthevote.org, where we're going to galvanize the most important voting army in America, the conservatives, the freedom demanders who live and believe and demand God, family, country, conservation, Constitution first. Huntthevote.org is a great, great army of Americans who are going to turn the tide and make sure that we're represented by those positive patriots who adhere to the Constitution.
We have hope. So coming up next, my interview with Pastor Beth Jones and also Glenn Story from Patriot Mobile. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Patriot Mobile was built on the values of Americans. We are humbled, recently achieving the highest customer satisfaction among all wireless providers. As America's only Christian conservative wireless service provider, you'll receive great performance, and we'll donate a portion of every dollar earned to support your values. Try a wireless company that really cares about you and your values. Call us today, mention Shemane, and get our best promotion.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining me. I have a special guest today, Her name is Beth Jones, and she has written over 20 books, and they've been transcribed into many different languages. I have many of her books, her workbooks, and her most recent book that I want to talk to her about today is called Reinvent, and I'm so happy to have her here. Beth, welcome.
Thank you, Shemane. It's so good to be with you and to have become friends virtually through all these books and all the things happening online. It's just fun to get to visit.
Yeah. So Beth, your books, you're also a host of a TV show called The Basics with Beth, and there's many books that you've written, Getting a Grip on the Basics, The Basics of Serving God, and my special favorite is The Basics of Health and Healing. So how do we get a grip on the basics of reinventing ourselves during a difficult time?
No, that's great. And I mean, it's so fascinating to me. A year and a half ago, I felt like God really put it in my heart to write this book. Well, of course, who knew we'd be in these, circumstances these days? But I think it's really encouraging. The Lord knew. And so at least, in my little sphere of influence, I can, help people reinvent by a couple of things. And in the book, can I show a picture of the book? Okay. Yeah. All right. This is actually the book. So we've got our author copies in, so we're super pumped. And, basically we tackle in the book 4 questions to ask. And we talk about a story in the Bible of reinvention, a crazy story of a single mother, widowed single mother of 2 boys. And she had to reinvent her whole life, which I know so many people are feeling that exact thing now, financially and relationally and, in so many ways. So the 4 questions, you want me to tell you the 4 questions?
Yes.
Okay, the 4 questions are that the prophet asked her, in essence, are, what do you want? So really identifying your heartfelt desire, your God-given desires. Number 2, what do you have? And I love that because God always and only uses what we have. We're not penalized for what we don't have or who we don't know. We just are able to use, and God touches what we have. Number 3 is, what will you do? So like Faith, has to put legs to it and take some steps. And he told her to do 4 things, actually. And then the 4th question is, why will you do it? And to me, that's the most important question, because otherwise it might just be a motivational book like, hey, let's get you fired up. And that's good. But I love the why question, because the why question has to do with making an eternal impact, has to do with helping other people in a really significant way. And I feel like it answers the cry of everybody's heart, like to have meaning and purpose for their lives.
You know what I find interesting, though, as women, we tend to put the needs of other people before ourselves.
Yeah.
And I've worked with a lot of people who have said, a lot of women, I don't know what I want. I'm 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 or 80. Yeah. And I've spent my whole life helping my kids grow up, helping family members. I don't know what I want. What would you recommend for them to do?
Totally. And that's such a great question. And it's so common. I talked to a mother, same exact thing. Her kids had grown. She's, an empty nester. And I said, what are you going to do now? And she goes, I don't know. I need to get a personality. She'd gotten so wrapped up in her kids, which is great, but she kind of lost herself. So I would encourage people. I mean, it starts, I think the rock bottom foundation for all reinvention and kind of figuring out who you are and who God's made us to be, I think, is to get to know the Lord, and ultimately to get to know how much he loves us. I feel like so many of us, myself included, I knew it in my head, but I didn't have that experiential revelation of God's love and like what that actually meant in terms of my value and my worth and all of that, until I just really sought after God, and he helped me to realize he loves me separate from all the things I do or don't do. And boy, that just gives you such a great foundation from which to build whatever kind of life you have a desire to build.
What would you recommend for people who are feeling overwhelmed right now? Because there's a lot of uncertainty and many of us are anxious.
Yeah.
How do we deal with that? I know we need to pray more and go to the Bible more, but is there any other thing? What do you do when you're feeling that way?
What I do is just what you said, but I mean, I go back to and I say, okay, what do I know? There's a lot of things other people might know, and there's a lot of things about God other people might know. but I just say, okay, what do I know? What do I believe? And I kind of go back to that anchor, and it stabilizes me. It's like there's a verse in the Bible, and I love this. It says, wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of your times. And I feel like you go back to the wisdom you have and the knowledge you have. And then, of course, hopefully you add to it. I mean, I love the fact that you have those workbooks makes me so happy.
Well, I got to tell you.
You've been filling your heart with the knowledge of God's word, and that gives us stability. And I don't think we can microwave it.
No.
I wish we could.
It's hard to duplicate that. And it's funny because I've told you the story. When you reached out to me on Instagram and said, hey, would you write an endorsement for my book? And I went, who, me? 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 Because I don't know how I found you, but I had been following you. I'm a Michigander at heart, although I live in Texas most of the time. But I love the fact that the workbooks make you do the work. There's one thing about reading a book, and in this book as well, you ask questions. And for me, I'm a learner where I need to write things down. So I take notes in my book, and all of my books are very well used and written up, and especially my Bible. I'm a sponge right now. I want to learn as much as I can. And I want to, we're constantly reinventing ourselves from, honestly, look at where we've been in the past couple of months. I know it. Totally. So how do you, when you're with your church, because you're the pastor of a church, you and your husband, what does the future look like for you and your church services? Such a good question. And Shemane, we are asking those exact questions. I mean, my husband and I every day, every night, and then we're doing Zoom meetings like crazy, of course, with our staff. And we're talking about it. We're like, okay, you know what? Everything's changed, including church. Of course, now we're doing everything online because we have to. Our small groups, our services, our worship. But after this is over, we have a sense that we're not going to go back to what it was. There's going to be a new normal. And I think the good part of right now is we have a T-shirt somebody gave us that says, the church has left the building. And I think that's a good thing. We're out in the community. We're loving on people. We're helping seniors that are, I'm talking high school seniors, who aren't going to have a graduation ceremony or prom. Our team is going to the houses and putting signs in their front yard to say, hey, we see you. We love you, teenagers. Like, we're finding so many ways to care for people and let them know they're valuable and share the love of God with people. So I think that's great. And what does it look like in the future, church? I don't know, but it's going to be good. It's going to be a new reinvented kind of church, both an in-person gathering, but I think a lot of this other stuff that's happening online and in terms of service, I think it's going to continue in a big time way. Have you found that in your own circle of family, friends, are more people turning to you, turning to the Bible, turning to God than ever before? I think so. And we're seeing it even in our attendance, online attendance for church. We do it on a platform. Ours is valleyfamilychurch.tv. And then we also do it on Facebook Live. So the amount of shares and the amount of views and minutes watched on Facebook Live that we can track, and it's astounding. It's a lot more people than actually attended in person previously. So we take that as a good sign because people are sharing it with their friends. It's a little bit safer to be at your house on your computer watching church and letting God speak to you. So I feel like it's a really positive thing. Well, I have loved your books, and I could not put down Reinvent. I read it cover to cover, and I'm so grateful that you reached out to me. I hope that I can continue to help you in any way and get this message out there, because I do feel like this is an opportunity. Yes. When we look at these difficulties in our lives and we kind of reinvent and transform where we've been, there's a new normal. Totally. And we've got to look to God. And if this brings more people to God and gets us healthier, we're all washing hands all the time now. Totally. I know. I feel the exact same way. And Shemane, I think it's been such a God thing, the connection, and I'm so thankful for it. You inspire me as well. So I appreciate the opportunity to be on your podcast. Oh, well, thank you so much. And you had a convention that was going to happen this month. Yes. So what are the plans with that? Well, it's called the Reinvent Conference, and we're doing it online. We were going to have one in person
but it got canceled, because of all this. So we're doing it online because the book actually launches on Tuesday, and we're super pumped, and we're just trying to, get some buzz and let people know about it. So it is definitely online all the way.
Well, that's exciting. So tell everybody how they can find you online and on social media.
Sure. If they go to thebasicswithbeth.com, that's our website, and everything is there. And then on social media, I'm just Beth Jones on Instagram and The Basics with Beth on Facebook.
Awesome. Well, Beth, thank you so much for taking time out to chat with me. And I look forward to future communications. And please reach out whenever I can help you in any way. I'm here for you.
Likewise. And thank you so much, Shemane. God bless you guys.
God bless.
Patriot Mobile was built on the values of Americans. We are humbled, recently achieving the highest customer satisfaction among all wireless providers. As America's only Christian conservative wireless service provider, you'll receive great performance, and we'll donate a portion of every dollar earned to support your values. Try a wireless company that really cares about you and your values. Call us today, mention Shemane, and get our best promotion.
We're having way too much fun here. Ted, you're going to have to come back, I think, every show, because everybody here at the studio is getting used to having you around.
Well, everybody likes the soundtrack to freedom. I just happen to celebrate it every minute of every day.
Well, speaking of freedom, we have Glenn Story here, who is the founder of Patriot Mobile. And Glenn is in, not the hot seat, Glenn is in the pink seat.
Glenn, welcome, man. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to be on the set of your show.
Thank you.
I love what you guys are trying to do. Our values and your values align almost perfectly.
Are you talking God, family, country, constitution, that kind of controversial stuff?
Exactly.
Perfect!
What we live every day. We're always out on the front lines. We boldly stand there as Christian conservatives. And, I run into people all the time and they say, look, I don't know how you guys do it. Well, I said, look, it's easy. We're supposed to. We're commanded to. And every day you see it, they're trying to cut the arms off the cross, and we're battling it. I love to stand out there.
And so much of the powers that be, from government to media to academia to Hollywood, and it's so many forces, are literally against God, family, country, and freedom. So Patriot Mobile, what a great, great sucker punch to those that are against those basic traditional American values. So thank you for that.
Well,
How did you come up with Patriot Mobile, and what made you want to start?
Well, there's a short version and a long version.
Okay, we'll have the medium.
I'll go in the middle.
Well, I understand our great friend, Colonel Alan West, was involved to some degree.
You know what? He was the premise of why we started the business.
Wow.
He was voted out of office, and it was because a small cell phone company on the left coast went out, knocked doors, calling him a woman beater. Well, I met Alan West. I know him well now. He's anything but a woman beater, and he's a good egg. And
He's a great statesman.
He is, and if the media or a cell phone company can do that to a great guy like that, he can do it to us. And so we decided to start a company just like that, except on the right.
Perfect.
So what do you do that's different from other cell phone companies?
Well, so there's
they
a few
don't
things.
censor truth, logic, and common sense, for one.
Not at all, not at all. So we really market to conservative organizations and individuals. We carve a portion of that out and give back to organizations that promote constitutionalism.
Perfect.
Constitutionalism.
And what made you want to take this broad stance and come out? It's almost like you're coming out of the closet as a Christian. To say the word, I'm a Christian, and put it out there boldly, it's a big, bold step for you guys in business.
It is. We first started the business on a political premise. But over time, we've morphed. One of our largest investors runs EEM, Eastern European Mission. He puts Bibles, 1 million Bibles. So 1 million Bibles in the hands of those that wants them. If you know what 1 million Bibles looks like, it's put it side by side for 10 miles. He does that every year free of charge. And that the folks welcome that. And so when he started talking with me, he says, look, Glenn, you live this. You need to make sure the organization lives it. And so we really hold ourselves out as Christians.
Yeah.
Good for you.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
My dad was in the military. He fought in World War II.
Mine too, yeah.
He was in the Navy. He was in the Army blowing up bridges. He came home to his small town everybody was either gone or underground, buried. And so he said, heck, I got to go back. I can't stay here. So he re-enlisted in the Navy.
Good for him.
Thinking, hey, I can go hide behind, being a big steel ship. And little did he know, Pearl Harbor hit not long after that.
Boy, freedom is not free, huh?
Freedom is not free. And so I looked at what he did. People died for what we had. And that was the greatest generation ever. And so we started Patriot Mobile based on that. And we look at this and say, okay, we're in not a conventional war today, but we're in a war. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
It's a culture war for sure.
I call it a spiritual war.
It is a spiritual war, especially the spiritual side.
Yeah, they're after us every day. But what I love, I was up in the Capitol right before the Wuhan virus kicked in, and I went to church at the Capitol. What I heard there blew me away. I sat in church, there was congressmen with us, and so we talked, and he said, dude, we pray all the time. We pray before meetings, but nobody talks about that. No. So he took us by the chamber, Nancy Pelosi's office. I took Patriot Mobile a picture, and I was like, gosh, I'd like to do something with that. But
well, stop and think, Glenn. Prayer is controversial to the point where anybody would be afraid to admit and celebrate and promote that I pray. That's how this country was developed. The first experiment in self-government where we the people could pursue life, liberty, and happiness based on our own individual dreams. And it's written down in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence. So God bless Patriot Mobile. God bless you for being brave, because that's what it's going to take. We have a lot of friends. We just had a guest on here, Shelley from Dallas. There's a lot of patriots out there. You are not alone. We are not alone in 2020 and beyond.
What's next for Patriot Mobile?
Well, we just had our best quarter ever. We're on track to even exceed that. And I think the real reason that number one, we're the top rated carrier on customer satisfaction.
Cool.
It's unbelievable. Like 92% either said they're extremely satisfied or satisfied with our service.
Good for you.
And I want to say the reason that that's the case is we're U.S. based. When you call our office or you call in, you're going to talk to somebody in Texas, California, or somewhere.
U.S. based. I like the sound of that. I'd like to think that now that we have energy independence, we can start getting our medical and pharmaceutical and antibiotic independence, and I think total independence. And you've proved that we can do it in the face of a globalism and a global technology. Yeah. God bless you. And you tell everybody at Patriot Mobile that we love that they're that defiant and that American dedicated.
Well, I have to tell you, when we first talked about having this collaboration, I said, I have to get a phone. I have to have my hands on the phone, and I have to see if it works. And you guys came through with flying colors. My phone works awesome. The cell service is awesome. So thank you guys so much for being here, for supporting this venture, but also conservative Christians for speaking out. We do appreciate that.
Yeah, and I appreciate you inviting us on the set. I do want to say one thing. Before a lot of meetings, we pray. We have meals. We bring in meals during this Wuhan virus stuff. We brought in meals every day. We're an essential business. We fed our staff. We pray before meals. It's something that's very important. And the other side of why we have such high customer satisfaction is we value our sales and support team as if they are the life and soul. And when you treat your customer support folks like that, they're going to treat you and your customer as if they're family. And it's amazing.
Let me guess, you guys actually care. And you make sure that you demand service a month from yourselves, and that makes the customers happy. What a concept. I'm going to try that with rock and roll, like I always have.
Yeah, you do care. You care about the Constitution.
I absolutely care.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you, Ted. Can you take us into the next commercial from Patriot Mobile? We'll be right back. I wrote a book. It's called 4 Minutes to Happy, and it's tips and tricks that will change your life in the pockets of your time in just 4 minutes. You don't believe me? Well, what if you tried to hover over a chair for 4 minutes If you were doing wall squats for 4 minutes, you would feel that a lot. So think about the little things that you can do in the pockets of your time to get healthier and happier. I describe them all in my book, and it's available on barnesandnoble.com and amazon.com. Get yours today. Well, I'm so excited because my friend, who happens to be an interior designer, and she was one of the original personalities on Trading Spaces, Christi Proctor Hurst is here. Christi!
Hi, Shemane.
Welcome to my crib.
You look so fabulous.
How do you like the pink chair?
I love the pink chair.
Is this Christi approved?
This is your kaleidoscope.
Oh, is that what we're talking about?
That's what we're talking about.
Okay, so tell me about that.
We're talking about finding your style.
Yeah.
I have so many people ask me all the time, how do I know what I want? Because there's so many things on TV now and everybody's trying to follow that cookie cutter.
Right.
So do you remember when we first started talking about your house, I asked you about your closet? And I wanted to know what you felt the best in. And so when we talk about colors, when we talk about things like that, you can take cues from yourself that you don't have to take from the outside world.
For example, like clothes that you feel comfortable in or look good in, or
feel pretty and comfortable in.
So for me, like I have one top that I got from White House Black Market. It's white with black polka dots, but it feels so good, and every time it fits good. Every time I put it on, I feel done. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to fluff or do anything with it. Is that important to finding your kaleidoscope?
It is, because there's more to how you are and how you live than just the color. There's more to how you are and how you live than just the fit. It's a level. Let's think back with your family's home. What was your favorite room in the house? And think back in your home now. What's your favorite room in the house now? And I would say you probably tend to lean towards the porch more than anything else.
Yes.
And so finding what makes you happy and then working backwards that way, that's the way to do it.
Even though I do like to get dressed up, I feel comfortable as well in sweatpants and slippers.
Yeah.
Hugging my dogs.
Yeah.
How does that fit into your kaleidoscope? Like, should you have a wardrobe and rooms in your home that just reflect like different styles? Because we all have different personalities within us. You know, I just want to lay back and watch TV and hang out with my dogs, but I do like to go out and socialize.
Well, and that's sort of the idea of a formal living room and then a TV room and that kind of thing. But you hit the nail on the head. You have to be able to be in your zone and to feel safe and to feel loved. And if you go into a room that's so stiff,
you're gonna make me cry.
Because you know I love you.
I know, right? You know how to push my buttons and make me emotional, but that's so true.
If you go into a room that's stiff and stale and all acrylic, even though I know you love your glitz,
I do.
you still want something soft and squishy with it.
Yeah, you've been so. I couldn't have done this house without you, obviously, but you've been marrying my style and Ted's style so perfectly. Ted's the gritty and the outdoorsy, although I have my moments.
You do.
But I like a little bit of pink chair, too.
You like some sparkle.
Some sparkle.
Yeah.
So what was the biggest challenge working with us?
You know, Ted was easy because...
So you're saying I'm difficult?
No. No, I'm not saying you're difficult. Ted's easy because Ted could live in the Bronco out in the pasture and be perfectly happy. You know, as long as he's got his dogs and his guns, he's good. Yeah. But he also does like a rustic theme. He likes earthy. He likes to be one with nature. And so that was really easy because with Ted, you get what you get. And so when you get to a woman, though, there's a lot of different layers, like peel away the layers. You know, you have this gorgeous glamour girl, you know, supermodel on the beach side, but you also have the rolling in
You're not talking about me, right?
Yes, I am. But you also have the laying on the couch snuggling with your dogs.
Yeah.
You know, and you also have the I'm going to shoot a bow and I'm going to hunt. You know, so there's a lot of layers.
There's a lot of layers, girlfriend. There is a lot of layers. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for being here. Can you come back and can we get more into finding out your colors and your kaleidoscopes?
I would love
and
that.
things like? Awesome. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Patriot Mobile was built on the values of Americans. We are humbled, recently achieving the highest customer satisfaction among all wireless providers. As America's only Christian conservative wireless service provider, you'll receive great performance, and we'll donate a portion of every dollar earned to support your values. Try a wireless company that really cares about you and your values. Call us today, mention Shemane, and get our best promotion.
Well, thank you, Christi, for staying with me, because we're talking about the layers that women have, and there are a lot of layers that we have.
Lots of
So we're going to get into that a little bit deeper, but first I wanted to talk about something fun and happy. And what could be happier than talking about pets? Now, you have dogs.
I do. I have Snickers.
Snickers.
She's my little Tasmanian devil.
Isn't that funny how people talk differently? It's like it's like children.
Yeah.
They're our kids. Oh, look there's my dogs,
Aw.
and you know them well.
Yes, Happy, Sadie, Coco.
And Happy, Sadie, and Coco. And they have such extraordinarily, completely different
Yes.
personalities.
Yes.
What's Snickers like?
Who's more like you?
I would say Sadie. Well, I don't know. Now that you say that, Christi, there's a lot of layers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's a
All of
little
them.
bit of me that's a wolf.
Oh.
There's a little bit of me that's Sadie, dainty. Ted likes to call her Miss America.
Oh.
I think that's just because he can say he goes to bed every night with Miss America.
Well, he does anyway, so.
And then Happy is he's a Catahoula black-mouthed cur, part lab as well. So he's a little bit of a mutt, and I am too.
He's a free spirit like
He's
Ted.
a free spirit. So that's me.
I love it. Well, my dog is half Ret Terrier, half Yorkie. She looks like Scrat the squirrel from Ice Age. So I hope I'm not like my dog, but we probably have the same hair.
Will you stick around with me and watch some funny pet videos?
I would love it.
Okay, roll the funny pet video. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Dick.
Aww.
Oh, there goes.
I have one of those for say. Oh. Whoa.
And
that's a
another
good way to
angle.
get down.
How many views?
Aw.
Oh, hello.
Don't tell me the dog's.
Oh, it's dancing.
It's a dancing dog.
When your evil
When your
twin
twin
shows up.
Oh,
That's funny.
My dogs do that too when they see themselves in the mirror. Aww.
Oh, now that's a cool dog.
That's cute. I don't think my dogs.
What's that? Is that snow? I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Don't have much snow in Texas.
We're upside down.
Oh, that was awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Christi. Will you stick around and come back again for
I will.
another episode? Thank
would
you.
love that.
I love
Okay.
it because we have a lot of layers to uncover. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me on Simply Shemane. I'll be back here again next week. Thank you to Patriot Mobile. See you later, but bye.